Hi everyone, welcome back to the Blogsy guys. I'm Lance.
I'm Sean.
I'm so.
And we have another long drawn out show for you today. Probably. Actually, what I want to get started with is just responding to some comments. We actually got some comments about our show. That means a few people obviously watched and were engaged enough to leave us some comments.
They commented on YouTube, right?
Yeah, well, we got both YouTube and Facebook comments. So let me go through really quick and get your guys' thoughts on it. Okay? This guy who talks about in the UK, Blogsy is £2.99, £2.99 pence, cents, whatever. I don't think $4.99 would be unreasonable for what it offers. For what I see, the trend is for free apps with in-app purchases or auto-renew subscriptions. With Blogsy, this might be like having an in-app purchase for the Tumblr support. I think an app can be too cheap to be seen as real or a quality app. People seem to think free apps are free, yet look at which are the top grossing apps. Free games aimed at children with in-app purchase power-ups. So, I like one, he said, he doesn't think a higher price would be unreasonable. And I like how he's saying too, and I tend to agree with him, that usually you get what you pay for. So if you're offering it too cheap, people think it's cheap and not worth the little bit amount of money, because if it was good, you would be charging more.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts?
Yes, as I talked about in last show, I think it's very hard to decide the price when you first release an app. So maybe we can play with that price and make it a little bit higher and give some sales to people and hear the response, the comments, and you can decide the final price at that time. But I don't know, I still think there's some gap between the Mac app and iOS apps price range.
Yeah, he's not suggesting we charge, what a Mac app is, but he's saying, Blogsy, at least I got the feeling he doesn't think it's unreasonable that Blogsy would be more expensive. So definitely it's something maybe we should play with and just see what happens. Now, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it, because it's a scary thing to raise the price and get negative feedback about a new price or it's being too high. So, but I guess that comes with kind of the territory of the job. So we'll figure that out. And he also goes into a lot. He gets into specifics about maybe we could have in-app purchases and each module, say adding Tumblr or adding Posterous or something like that, is an in-app purchase adding on. And he brings up making Blogsy free, and then with a free version you actually have no platform support and only email. I think we really discussed quite a bit in the beginning, how could we make a free version of Blogsy? And we just could not come up with a way that seemed elegant, without annoying people. And actually he links to, who is it? He gives a link to some articles. Oh dang, I don't have that here. I think it was Instapaper. And the Instapaper guy, he had a free version, and you could upgrade to the paid version. And finally, he got rid of the free, because people weren't upgrading. So there's a whole bunch of things in there, and we've talked about too in-app purchases quite a bit, and it's not as easy as I think people might think, because you have to build the whole system around it and make sure it, it's not buggy and works perfectly, and so you're talking about a huge investment in time. So is that investment in time worth creating that in-app purchase? So will people, so in that case, take for example, we're charging $4.99 now. If we said the basic without in-app purchase is a $1.99 or something, and then the in-app purchase is $99 or $1.99, whatever, are there enough people that are going to pay that extra $1.99 for the Tumblr support to justify building the whole in-app purchase? And what we come back to is, it's just not happening. It goes back to, I think, our argument or our discussion before. Everybody's got this belief that, man, you make an iPad app and you're going to make lots of money. And it's just not happening. We have good ratings. In the blogging category, I think a lot of people consider us number one, and our ranking in that social networking is pretty high, but we're not making a lot of money. I don't know what you think. We're just not making, we pay our bills, but I haven't come close to paying back the investment I put in. So, some of these things, they sound good if you perceive that, hey, you're going to make money, then why not do it? And I agree, but the money's not there.
And there must be a lot of apps that failed, that doesn't make enough money to stay, make their, stay their app.
Absolutely, and that's what...
we are not making big money, but we are above average, I think. We are doing pretty good, and there are a lot more apps that didn't make it,
And I got an email from someone, they said, he's pretty annoyed by the app store because there seems to be so many dead apps. Someone put it out, and then they don't maintain it, they don't give support. And it's because I'm sure they put it out expecting, wow, I'm going to make big money off of it. And then when they don't get the sales, they don't make the money, they say it's not worth my investment of time. So they just leave it in the app store and do nothing with it, That's kind of covering what we covered last week or last episode. About
that Instapaper guy, the Marco Arment, he got rid of the free version, but his sales went up after he got rid of free version. So people who wants to buy free version, they actually bought the paid version. So if some app is really nice, they're willing to pay, but the thing is they can't try it because iOS doesn't have that trial version. And that's the one thing that people really want to have. And another thing is, you too.
For Blogsy and for myself personally.
Like free trial for a week or a month, something like that. And they want to have the paid update, like all of the Mac apps. They make a huge update like 1.1 to 2.1. Like they have to pay. Even if you have a previous version, you have to pay for a Mac apps, some Mac apps, and developers want to have in iOS apps too. That might help developers to make the app better, right?
I absolutely agree. Of course, bug fixes would go out free, but right now, we're kind of reaching the point where people want these new features. But the amount of people that are going to use them and actually their benefit to people becomes so small that it's just not beneficial. If there was like a paid upgrade like you're talking about, then that completely changes the equation. Then we can go, because there's a lot of people that currently bought Blogsy that might like that. But right now, if we add it, we're just doing it for free because we're being nice and we want to make Blogsy better, but we're getting no benefit out of it. It's not out there. Nobody goes, oh, this random obscure feature, now it has that, I'm going to buy Blogsy. It's not happening. So,
but in the customer's side, it might be annoying. So you have to make that balance.
Absolutely, and I think there's a side benefit to it too. It kind of separates quality from crap. I mean, if you have a quality product and you have all these people using it, they're not going to have a problem paying a couple bucks to upgrade it. To say, okay, I want the next new feature or something like that. And I'm not talking about bug fixes. You don't pay for bug fixes. I'm talking about feature improvements. So, but if it's a crap app, then those people aren't going to upgrade. So,
I think there's a nice example for me that's, I think we didn't show that app in our show, but there's an app called Paper. It's for iPad app. It's some drawing app. And they're free. And they have really good quality of drawing. So it looks like you're really drawing on the paper. But they have more pens, like brushes and pens, more stuff, and they're all in-app purchases. So once you buy the app for free and once you try it, you really want to buy that other brushes too. I didn't buy it yet, but I'm planning to buy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, they have every pens and brushes, and they're 99 cents per each. But if you buy all at once, they got some discount.
Yeah, I heard it's not an app for me. I downloaded Paper and played with it, and I just doesn't fit me. There's nothing wrong with it or anything.
Sure.
But one of the complaints I heard was about nickel and dime you to death. You know, it's like a little bit here, pay a little bit here, pay a little bit here. You know, so some people were complaining about that. But I don't know. You know, they have to figure out. All us developers are trying to figure out a model that works. It's still a young industry. So
The whole package of the brushes are $7.99, I think. But if you had to buy that app for $7.99, I wouldn't buy it. But it's some kind of free trial thing.
In that situation, in-app purchases, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what makes sense in Blogsy. You know, I just. Anyway,
Yeah.
A couple other comments. One, he says, how about a blog platform module that posts markdown text post to Dropbox for use with a flat file CMS? And great idea. I love your idea, but it goes back to what we're saying. There's just not enough people out there. I think we have a tendency to look at how many iPads are sold now, 20 million, 30 million? I don't know. And you think, oh, there must be enough people out there that'll pay for this or find it useful, and it's just not happening. I mean, if you take all those iPad owners, all the bloggers out there, you know, the millions and millions of bloggers, you'd think too, wow, Blogsy should be able to sell like crazy, and it doesn't happen, you know. So we would love to do some stuff like this, but it's just not the market for it.
It's not in our plan, but it gives me thinking that kind of thing can be in a purchase thing. And if there's a less demands, its price must go high, right?
Well, but it's finding that equilibrium. And in my opinion, something like this, it's so small that even the price would have to be so high to justify the investment of time that then you cut your market, because they're not going to pay that even if they want it.
Yeah, we have to find that, you know, exact price. But if they really want it, they'll pay it. If they ask us to add it, I think they're willing to pay.
But that's, you know, I've never had anybody else ask that. So you know, yeah, if we get 100 requests for something, then we can go, well, maybe an in-app purchase is a possibility. But if we're getting one request, to me, that's not the data we need to show there's enough demand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And one more on Facebook. Marge writes. Marge always has great comments on our blog and everything. She's dang it, I'm sorry. I was supposed to write this down so I could remember. She's with Apps for iPads. She's writes all the amazing site. You guys want to learn about iPad apps? Make sure go and check out her site, Apps for iPads. She wrote, I don't think Apple screwed themselves with the 99-cent app. I think they screwed the developers and in turn all the users. I am afraid you're going to see lots fewer apps as the gold rush era disappears, which is a shame. So yeah, she kind of put what my point was, the point I was trying to say, she put it in more eloquent words. That's exactly what I was trying to say. And so again, thanks for the great comment, Marge. And yeah, I think right now we're still in the gold rush era. We'll see, either the market has to change or it's going to, again, my opinion, the market has to change, like you said, in updates or trial, you know, something has to change, or people's mind that higher prices are okay, or we're going to see the future of the tablet devices and App Store. It's going to have only the things that serve the huge markets. And maybe the change is, the future is HTML5. You know, people will just go away. That way you can support all platforms and you can support, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
I really want to know that how much money makes, how much the Mac apps make, how much money the Mac apps make. because they made the Mac App Store, but before that they didn't have that kind of App Store that can prevent user to bootleg the apps.
Steal them, to be honest.
Steal them. So even if it's a Mac app's more expensive, if you compare the money that they lose because of that bootlegs, then I don't know that balance, but maybe fly.
It was some little bug,
Yeah.
almost like a fruit fly.
Maybe the money that we can make in iOS apps can be similar. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to know that.
Yeah.
Because my feeling is, on my Mac, I use pretty much the basic, Mac software, or maybe a free, like FTP, FileZilla, or something like that. I don't really buy apps for a Mac. So maybe even though they have a lot more people using Macs than use iPad, maybe people are similar to me, and so their market is actually much smaller than iPad. It's just all speculation for me.
Yeah. So.
Interesting would be to know all the details. Okay, done with user comments. If you guys have anything you want to comment with or say or anything, we love that. Oh yeah, I should say, one person left a comment. He said something like, "What the blank? An hour long? Prepare, make it concise, and get to the point." Actually, we're not doing this for publicity.
Yeah.
We're not doing this to try to get viewers. We're not doing this to try to generate income. We're not doing this to try to give information that people are going to come and go, okay, this is the information I need to learn about something. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
We're just
And
kind of
maybe
the geek sense of playing,
And maybe someone can get information.
Yeah,
Something
but
they don't know.
But it's just more, to me, it's more casual and opinions, and
Right.
I would like to really engage with people out there that just like to
Yeah.
talk about tech. Is kind of what we're doing.
Like all the podcasts, we don't suggest you just staring at the screen for 1 hour. You can just play it and do something, and you can just listen to it, right?
Oh, no, to me, I mean, it's very different this than say, Techzilla or any of the Revision 3 shows. They're very much about information, learning something. They have very factual information and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ours is more like a free-flowing kind of podcast. I mean, other than knowing this is topic we're going to cover, and these are the apps we're going to cover, we don't do any preparing. It's not like we sit down and, okay, I'm going to say this, and we'll cover this. It's just free-flowing. Anyway.
I thought that comments about the Storyfy was quite interesting. You didn't bring it up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. One more comment. He said, with Storyfy, I think it is true that your UI must be right for people to copy it. So, kind of agreeing with our UI is so logical that it lends itself to be copied. What is upsetting is that because they have a wider media reach,
Right.
they are seen as the creators of the UI and you, the copyist. I think a lot of the tech and media coverage is governed by which has venture capital's backing, and VCs have the connections to get pimped what they have backed. Also, it seems to be a help to be American and in San Francisco rather than Korea to be lauded in the US and British media. Yeah, like before, I don't stress about this. It is what it is. I never thought that they would get credit, that we would be seen as the copyists. When you wrote that kind of scared me because I never even thought about that.
But I was curious how you felt. You were actually American, right? You have American citizen, but he mentioned that because we are working in Korea, the American medias will be more of a Storyfy side.
I personally, I don't agree with that part. I don't think it has to do with America versus Korea or anything. I think I question, and I don't know if I agree with it or not, but the VC point he made. I think if you are a company with VC, then they have a lot of connections within the industry that say, hey, can you talk about ours? Because we're back in this project. yeah, I can see that happening. And I can see also what he talks about location. If we were sitting in San Francisco, maybe we have friends, people we know, if not directly, indirectly, to some of these shows and sites. We could get more publicity than being in Korea. But in all honesty, I've been amazed at the coverage Blogsy has gotten. You know,
Yeah.
we've gotten covered on lots and lots and lots of blogs and big reputable blogs and in podcasts and stuff like that. And we're not marketing experts, so it's been a learning thing for us. And for as little as honestly marketing we've done, it's blown us away. At least me, it's blown me away how much coverage we've gotten. So I'm not disappointed with the coverage we've
We
gotten.
didn't pay any money for marketing, did we?
No, we haven't paid a penny. And you know what's sad is in the very beginning, as you guys know, Blogsy has to be rated plus 17 because it has a built-in browser. And I won't get into all that ridiculousness here. But in the beginning, if your app was rated plus 17, Apple would not allow you to give out promo codes. So we sat for the first 3 months. I got all these requests for promo codes, and I had to tell them, Apple won't let us. And that was really frustrating because that cut down on some publicity. But even with that limitation, Blogsy got a lot of coverage. So
And Apple changed that later.
yeah, they changed it, so now I can give up. But don't come asking for promo code. No, I'm just-
Well, we spent a lot of time even before we start the topic.
I know. I think we better rush through the other ones. We're just so passionate about that, so it's
Yeah.
easy to talk forever. Okay, go with yours. What's your topic?
Okay. My first topic is Samsung Galaxy S3. Did you hear about that? They released in last night.
Really, last night? No,
Last night.
no.
I
Tell me about it.
I had no plan to talk about this until this morning, but yeah, I found it. They released it, and I'll show the video first. To me, it felt really they're getting close, but in some part I can really feel they're copying Apple, but they're getting pretty close. So yeah. It's downloading videos.
Well, you know, to me, that's the thing too. While it tries to download,
Yeah.
Android phones, as far as hardware goes,
The Galaxy S3,
Oops.
a new smartphone, designed
Oh, go ahead. I'll
better pause
it.
and let it.
Yeah.
As far as hardware goes, you know, I think most people argue the hardware specs tend to be much better than Apple, minus the screen. You know, the screen is obviously much better on an Apple iOS device. But, you know, the processors and blah, 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 I think in general, especially Samsung stuff, it's better. But
Yeah.
it's great to have it doesn't matter the piece of equipment, whether it's your microwave or toaster, it's great to have super duper power, but if you have nothing to do with it,
Right.
then what's the point of it? And so to me, the software fails them. And it's not necessarily just Android alone, you know, because they put skins on top of it, which I think also causes huge problems for them. Upgrading, basically, if you buy the phone, you're going to have to buy a new phone to get new Android, you know, it's because of the skins problem. But also just the apps, they're just not there. And so I saw a study that actually Android users use their devices far less than iOS users.
Right.
And I don't know the reasoning behind that, but you speculate that there's just not as much to do on it.
What I read is iPhone users are spending like, I don't know the number, but like 80% of the internet connection of the smartphone market. So it means that Android users just use their phone to call and text. They don't use apps and all.
And that might be too, I think, and I'm talking about Korea, okay? I don't know the rest of the world, but in Korea it seems like a lot of the younger generation that are more tech savvy, they get the iPhone. But a lot of the older 40s and older that aren't tech savvy, they're like, oh, a smartphone? Okay, everybody's got a smartphone. They buy an Android. And then they don't know what to do with it. So that might be skewing the numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, it tends to be that. And there's something with that Samsung made it. You know,
That's right.
older generations want to have something that helps the Korean company.
Support Korea.
Yeah.
And one thing more I have heard from the older generations, they said they want to some good quality of voice, but at the some iPhone 4, so
Yeah.
that's grip. So at the time they have some mind. They have good apps, but to me the voice quality is more important than the
So
usability of the apps. So
Yeah.
that's
antenna
would be
gate
one
that makes
reason.
some bad.
I think in Korea, and it's not only around iPhone, it's around beef issues, all stuff. There's a lot of spinning that goes on here, and just being an outsider, like half outsider, half insider in Korea.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this marketing spin that gets put into Korea, and it just shifts all the people's focus. They're very easily kind of swayed towards something. So yeah, like that what's it called, antenna gate.
Yeah.
That was just used, and it was blah 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 blah, and it became this big whirlwind of publicity, and it really hurt iPhone here more than probably other places around the world. Well, yes.
Let's watch the video.
Yeah, let's watch the video.
Big Samsung logo.
Man, they're doing good, internationally.
We'd
Yeah.
like to introduce the Galaxy S3, a new smartphone, designed for humans and inspired by nature. Let's start with design. Samsung Galaxy S3 mimics the beauty of nature and recreates the natural curves of
Is that your
moons and
style?
bubbles.
No, I don't.
Also,
It's too big,
despite its
number
large
one.
4.8-inch screen, it manages to fit perfectly in your hands. The Galaxy
Maybe mine.
S3
Yeah.
will come in two colors, marble white and pebble blue.
Black and white, same
Each
as
color makes a
iPhone.
unique natural statement of its own. Even the user interface is inspired by nature. Samsung's own TouchWiz interface has been upgraded and infused with nature and human emotion.
The back looked very
Take a look
plasticky
at
to
this
me.
box
Yeah, it's actually
screen. When you touch
plastic, I
the
think.
screen, you can see the water ripple and hear the sound of real water drop.
It looks nice, but I
The
don't
alarms and
know.
ringtones are
It's not-
filled with the soothing sounds of nature too.
It's not a good feature.
How often are you going to do it?
Yeah. But I
Selling
think,
ringtones? That's like clamshell phone technology.
Let's talk a little bit about hardware. As you can see,
But I think Koreans are
screens
more
very
into
quick to
this
switch.
aesthetic
Compared to the Galaxy
things.
S2, booting time is much shorter, applications are launched quicker, and web browsing is also faster. Let us introduce the unique pop-up play feature.
This is pretty unique. It's something
If you get a
that's
text
not
message
in
while you're watching a
iPhone.
movie, simply use pop-up play. You can move the screen around, and you can send messages without having to stop the movie.
Maybe you can use it when you watch the podcast and doing something else.
That's so funny because just yesterday I was telling him
To go
Yeah.
back to the video
I watch a
game,
lot of podcasts, or actually I listen to a lot of podcasts, but on my iPad I can't play them in the background.
Right.
I can play them as just audio in the background, but I want to be able to just multitask over, and if there's something I want to see in the middle of the podcast, but then go back and work. Can't do it on the
It
iPad.
shoots
Yeah.
images without
I thought about you when I watched this.
The bird shot feature.
It's very interesting to see Koreans in this kind of video. The cameras are camera is pretty advanced.
8 different shots.
But I'm curious who used that, 8 pictures.
The next feature is direct call. When you view a text message and you want to call the person right away, just bring the phone up to your ear.
I've been begging for this in
The Galaxy S3 will
iOS.
automatically make a call for you.
But there's a button. Maybe
If I get a text message, I can't just touch something and it
To
calls
share
the
the
person.
photos-
you can scroll to the top and there's a call button. Maybe you don't know about it.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Video, music, and images.
Bam!
This
The
is pretty
USB
cool.
simply touch the back of two Galaxy S3 phones together,
This was in the Galaxy
and the
Nexus.
files are immediately shared.
That's bump.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, but
Or
this-
are they using an FC probably?
yeah,
right?
you don't need the internet connection, so it's really fast.
Again, the Samsung Galaxy S3 is a smartphone, effortlessly smart and intuitively simple. Enjoy the maximum benefits of the latest smartphone
With bump,
features
can you
of
go
the Galaxy S3.
cross-platform? Can you bump from iOS to Android, or
I'm not sure about that.
because
Yeah.
like this, you're only going to be able to do that between two of the same
Yeah,
phone.
same
So,
device, which has that NFC thing.
so if you buy one hoping to use that, you're going to be talking to every. You have one? Let's do one.
Even if you don't have anything to send him, you
I don't
wanna
know.
just try.
I'm not impressed. It doesn't
Yeah, it's not.
stir any desire in
Right.
me.
Yeah, it's not a huge leap or something. Yeah, it's very similar to Galaxy Nexus S2. It's just got a little bit faster, I think. And oh, the one more thing that they didn't show here is when you read something on your phone. Sometimes, if you use iPhone, sometimes if you don't touch anything, it goes dark and turn off automatically, right? But this catches your eye staring at the screen. So if your eyes are staring at the screen, they don't turn off the phone.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
That kind of technology. And one more thing along to this topic, this is some tweets someone tweeted, and Apple captured 73% of the phone industry profits, and Samsung captured 26%, HTC took 1%, everybody else lost money.
It's crazy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
isn't it crazy? And
We need to get into the phone business.
Samsung captured 26 after Apple, and
But they're actually the number one handset seller, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
Apple has huge margins.
This is profit, so it's different number. But I'm really surprised by Samsung, what Samsungs are doing.
But I'm curious the numbers here, because Apple not only has high profit on their phones, but they also 30% on any app purchase.
Right.
And the app market is
Right.
huge. Is that in these?
No, I don't think so. And iPad.
Oh.
I don't think iPads are included here. Only iPhones.
Okay.
So Apple are making crazy money, right?
They're doing something right.
Yeah. And every time I read this kind of thing about Samsung, I'm Korean, so I'm kind of proud of them. But at the same time, I know they're copying something from Apple, and smartphone is started from iPhone, so maybe every other companies are copying Apple, but Samsung has been famous about copying things, right? And
Go ahead.
there one more thing they didn't show in this video is I didn't capture link, but they make something very similar to Siri. It's a voice activating thing. So if you see the screen capture, it looks really similar to Siri. They have some purple, growing dot button in the bottom of the screen, but they support Korean. And iPhone doesn't support Korean, so maybe it's good for Koreans.
Someone needs to make the app that works on iOS then. Maybe
Korean?
a lot of Koreans would buy it.
Yeah, but Apple said they're planning to support Korean, but we don't know when.
I don't know what this video is and where you got it, but what struck me is, it's very slow and methodical, which is extremely boring. It's not gonna grow interest.
Right.
And also, if you look at it, they're like, look at the phone and the design, and let's talk about the hardware. If you look at Apple, they're like, look what you can do. Look at this
Right,
app.
right.
Oh, this app. You have an app for everything. It's about what you do, not about the hardware. And I think that's a huge difference.
Right. And yeah, I agree, dude. And I think Samsung is pretty bad at advertising things. And yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah,
let's
let's go.
before we drone on too much
Right.
longer, let's go to the next one. I found a really interesting one. This guy, he's frustrated with, specifically on the iPad, trying to edit any document that you write. You have to use your finger and drag it around, get to right to the right spot and delete. So he's come up with a brilliant solution, and, in my opinion, very brilliant, and he's also gives steps on how to submit a bug report to Apple to try to get them to add this to iOS. So let's just take a look at the video of that.
Video. Okay.
It's slow. Tap it. Okay. Oh, okay. But it could be better. Faster. More fun. Look what he's doing. See, he's selecting with fingers. So he can select text, he can move around. Drag to move the cursor, see?
Oh.
And double fingers to select as you move.
Oh.
Hold shift to select, right? And do that.
Wow.
So it makes
Wow.
moving and selecting really cool.
That's a pretty great idea.
Yeah, so that's the video. And now he's just saying, please go tell Apple in a feature request.
Wow.
Isn't that? I mean, it is one of the annoyances of editing on the iPad if you use the virtual keyboard.
Yeah, there's no the arrow cursor, so it's if you don't use that Bluetooth keyboard, it's very annoying.
But even with a Bluetooth keyboard, I mean, you got to do the arrow. Oh, left, 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 left,
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
This is just drag your fingers, do this. Wow. And especially once you become used to it, it's just. I sure hope. It's funny to read the comments too, because everybody's like, Apple will never do it, number one. So you better do it through jailbreaking. And second, if they do it in iOS 8, they'll say, look at this revolutionary new editing method or something.
Never
comments are funny.
Him.
Okay, that's my topic.
Yeah.
And yeah, please go here. Can you go to the top? It's I download blog and how text editing on the iPad should be. And then can you scroll down a little bit? Down here, he goes through the steps. Please do this to submit it to Apple. So maybe if enough of us out there do this, Apple will actually listen and make a change.
Yeah, but I don't know. Apple already have their own way to select text and move the cursor. I know it's not good as this, but maybe because of that, Apple won't change their way.
I'm guessing they won't, but But you never know. At least it's worth a try. If enough people complain, maybe Apple go, okay. Who knows? Okay.
I had one more thing to brought out. According to the topic I brought was the BlackBerry 10 sneak peek was released, but we didn't have much time, so it's just let's play the video.
Is this 10 minutes long?
No, it's 46 seconds.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen this. I don't know about it. I heard about it.
Yeah, it looks very similar to iPhone, and they get rid of the keyboard.
Right, they're going virtual, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest selling points for
BlackBerry. That auto-complete thing is a little bit,
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't know if you can see this video. Maybe you have to do the full screen. Oh, it stops
now it's
the
going to
video.
reload.
Yeah, that's about it.
I have nothing bad to say about BlackBerry. I think they got Populars first. I mean, they were before the iPhone and all that, and had such a huge business user base. And they just were too slow to move, and they screwed themselves. Stupid move after another. You think this will save them?
I really don't think so. There's nothing innovative enough.
But the problem is going to come back again to the apps, to me, because they have such a large committed following. You know, all the business people, they already have that special text message for free to all the other business people, and you have it in your contact list. So once you're in that system, I think it's more comfortable, especially professionals, high-level professionals. So they might, it might save them, because now it's, like you said, it's almost like Apple, so I could get the benefit of being BlackBerry, but still get Apple-esque device. But the problem is, if there's not enough apps, then they're going to be like,
That's the biggest thing, again, apps.
I've seen, and I don't know if it was them or Microsoft, they were offering developers like $10,000 to develop an app. You know, if you develop an app, gets approved, we'll give you $10,000. And I'm like, $10,000 doesn't pay for anything.
Yeah.
You know?
What I heard this morning in the podcast was that, I don't remember it was a BlackBerry or Microsoft, but if you upload an app to their app store, and after 1 year, if it didn't get $100,000, they pay that rest of it.
What?
Really?
Man, maybe Blogsy coming to BlackBerry.
What I have heard is the developer had to the sales over the $10,000.
Yeah.
No, not 10,000, just $1,000. So they will pay for the less of it, about the $10,000.
Oh, just to 10,000, not to
The
100,000?
minimum the developers the app sales over the $1,000.
Right, I understand,
Yeah.
but you're saying the top end you think is 10,000, like Chunman one, not
Oh, it was
100,000, not Irok.
10,000.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
Then-
confused.
Yeah, 10,000 is, that doesn't pay
Yeah,
for anything. That's,
right.
you know, that's the high school kid in his
Yeah, it was
basement. It's
10,000.
like, oh, maybe I can get 10,000. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, what's your app?
Oh, my app first. I have to use the AirPlay.
Then we have to do a whole bunch of switching. HDMI 2, and toggle this. And there you go.
It's a game. I don't play lots of games, but I'm kind of trying this these days.
You playing a game?
Yeah, I know. I have to change that Wi-Fi network.
I'm kind of, as you do this, I like games, but I definitely have a different taste depending on the device. You know, I have Xbox 360, and so I'm into like GTA or Red Redemption or a lot of the, what's that developer that makes GTA? Roxio? No, that's not Rock.
Rock something.
Rockstar. Anyway, their games are
Rockstar?
great. And LA Noire, all those kind of games. But when I try on the iPad, I downloaded GTA on the iPad, and it's just not my style. Same with like Affinity Blade and all that. If I'm playing on the iPad, because of the touch interface, the difficulty of controls, I prefer very kind of, how would I describe them? Like, Where's the Water? Where the alligator.
Casual.
Casual, and there's a puzzle to it. You got to figure out this puzzle and timing, and you know, like Angry Birds, I guess. You know, I don't play that anymore, but yeah. So different preference depending on platform.
Yeah. So it's the Sims FreePlay. So it's some apps.
Oh, it's Sims.
Yeah, you know Sims, right?
I never got into Sims, but
yeah. They had that Sims in Facebook game and some desktop game, and they released the iOS version of it. And it's first time I played this Sims game. I was pretty amazed by the details. Why are you laughing?
because I had a friend, he was really into Sims, but you know, he got to a point where he's just playing around, I guess, and he decided, I've never played it, so I don't know the details, but he said he refused to let his guy go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he also fed him only coffee. And so eventually the guy just went crazy and started doing crazy, like in the bubble, this random text. This is what he told me. And then in the end, the guy peed on the floor.
Yeah.
And it hit electrical socket and it shocked him and killed him.
Electronic what?
Yeah, so the electricity.
Oh, really?
The pee hit the electricity or whatever, so it shocked him and killed him.
Oh, really?
That's what he
Is it
told
true?
me.
Wow.
I don't know. That's what he told me.
Yeah, this was also the part of it was what I will bring up that if you don't take care of him, they pee on the floor.
Can you choose where they pee, or it's like if you choose, okay, go pee, he goes and finds a bathroom?
No, you have to pick the bathroom
Okay.
what is it? And you have to pick the like
So you can't choose like here's a tree, just go pee over there.
yeah, right. And this toilet, and you can have used toilet, and he go to the toilet and use the toilet. It's the mosaic. Yeah.
That's crazy. We're such children. Yuchigate.
And you have to, you can give them jobs, and you have to. It's real time, so you have to send them to work at 9 a.m. or if they're a firefighter, you can send them in the evening. So you have to keep the time.
It's throughout a real normal day,
Right.
like your day. So you got to go and check. Oh, I'm going to work. I better send my sim to work.
So the first time I only played this at night, so I thought, why is it always night? So my wife is playing this too, so she told me that, you have to, if you go in daytime, you can see the daylight.
So in this, is there like, I think in Sims Real, there's, what is that, multiplayer or whatever. So you and your wife can meet each other?
No, I thought that this will work like that, but no, there's no, online gaming.
He lives in a dormitory?
I just bought this house. It's called Geek Paradise.
Oh.
There are a lot of computers here, like PC방 in Korea.
And pizza?
Yeah, pizza boxes. So they have some...
Where's the Jolt? Or Jolt, man, that's very dated, isn't it? Now it's Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. And there's the village, so you can have many Sims in your village, and there are lots of different houses, and you can change the wall, and you can move the furnitures, you can buy furnitures, you can sell them, and so if you're really into this game, you can make your own house to look really great.
But is there in-app purchases? I mean, it's things you want to do, you should buy coins or stuff like that?
No, but like some other games, if you want to make it fast, you can buy some special thing and you can make it fast.
One more question. Do I have to use some Facebook account to set it up?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then
But-
I'll download for my girls and
Yeah.
see if they're interested in it.
I don't know why, but you have to be connected to the internet to play this game.
Oh, it's not a problem.
Yeah. And I made my name and my wife's name, so you have.
And it looks just like you.
Oh really? So first time you're a stranger, so you have to keep talking. You have to be romantic to him. You can be a couple, and later you can live together. And there's some option that if you live together, you can do woohoo. So if you do woohoo, they took all clothes off, and there's a mosaic again. But you can do it in anywhere you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually get lucky in a game, but not in real life.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. I think I'm going to try that one out.
Yeah, we have to switch this screen, right?
That's right. Let's go back. Oops. iPad 1. HDMI 1. Okay, mine is Pair. And Pair is basically a social network for a couple. A pair. Husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, domestic partners, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's really cool. I think before you get into it, you think, oh, well, I can do the same thing in Facebook, or, I just text message, or I call, but there's something romantic in it. It's kind of like, it's something I share with only my wife, and it's all password protected, so there's things I can share with her, say, or even photos, that only she'll be able to see. I'm not scared of it being shared with friends on Facebook or something like that. Plus, they put some very interesting things into it. You can draw together, so both of you at the same time. Also, they have like this kiss or touch or something. So if you both put your finger close enough to the same place on the phone and hold it there, then it's like you get this vibration, and it's supposed to signify kind of a kiss. And then, of course, it's got reminders about your anniversary or special dates or stuff like that. So always helpful for a guy. So I'm digging it, but also I'm kind of a romantic. In our relationship with my wife, I'm the romantic one. So it took me a little bit for my wife. I'm like, come on, please agree to it. Please set it up. Let's try it.
I tried to my wife, but I couldn't succeed.
She won't even try it.
No, she didn't even install the app.
I sent my wife an invite, and I think it took like 2 to 3 weeks for her.
Really?
After I harped her, why haven't you accepted? Why haven't you accepted? And finally, she accepted, and we played with it, and it's pretty fun. And you know, it's go ahead.
Does your wife do things too in the app?
Yeah, this is I think the problem with the app, and it's not the problem with the app, it's the problem with just making a pattern change. We're so used to, send a text message or make a phone call, that your first thoughts aren't, let's use pair. Your first thoughts are, let's do what we normally did.
Right.
So, and also, we're having trouble too. My wife has sent me, when she's been out or I've been out, she's sent me pair things, but I don't get like the same kind of notification. If it's a text message, then I feel it in my pocket or hear something. But with pair, I don't know if I have the settings wrong or something. I get a badge. I think the vibration is very subtle or something. And then she gets annoyed. Like, why didn't you respond to my pair? So it's actually hurting us maybe a little bit. I'm just kidding. But I like it. I'm really liking it. I'm hopefully make a little bit of change and use it more. They have a really cool one, I think, is just a quick like tap sends out a I'm thinking of you.
Wow.
You know, and to me that's
romantic.
Yeah, very romantic. It's very sweet. I don't have to write. I don't have anything to write. We don't have to communicate, but I wanted you to know, hey, I was thinking about you. That's pretty.
Maybe it's a cultural difference, but I can see some new couples not married. They use this app when you first dated, you know. But I can't see any Korean married couple use this app, and you know.
I don't know if it's necessarily culture. I think maybe the same in the West, but maybe in the West there's so much publicity or there's many people talking, and life coaches, marriage coaches that talk about keeping that romance, keeping that. So everybody, you got to do these things for your wife or be romantic, and your wife, you got to do these for your husband. So maybe by nature the cultures are the same, but because of all of that, might force a push maybe.
So you're
I think by just nature I'm a romantic guy. I'm much more romantic than my wife, which is extremely frustrating, because always all this stuff in America is about, men are not romantic, why won't men do this? And I do that, but my wife isn't, so she doesn't appreciate it. So anyway,
it's some different topic, but there are lots of like Western guy and Korean woman got married.
not a lot, but some.
I saw a lot, but
In Korea.
in Korea. Most of that Western guy is very romantic compared with Korean guys. So the women that tend to think that way, that Western guys are very romantic. They give rose every day, and you know.
I did that. I told you I'm romantic. So the first, few months we were married, like at least once a week I'd come home and stop by a flower shop and get her a single rose and bring it to her. And after like a few months, she's like, "Quit buying these. You're wasting money." I think this is not really a cultural podcast, but I think just by nature Koreans don't express that romance the same as a Westerner.
They're keeping it inside.
Yeah, you have jung in Korea, which is an implied, hey, we have a connection, we don't have to express it, we don't have to show it. So you see a lot of elderly couples, maybe you guys can confirm this, never kiss, never hold hands, never show any affection. But hey, they have jung, some connection there.
Yeah.
So I ask a lot of my friends, they've never seen their parents kiss or hug, which is quite different in the West.
Right. I don't remember either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you learn that from your parents, so you emulate your parents, and
Yeah.
you don't do it with your wife
Right.
either. So,
Maybe it'll get better after generations.
well, it's not that one's better, it's just the way Korean culture is. You know, I don't think it's one way is the better. You know.
I think the expressing your love is better than not doing it.
I would say you can even argue the other way. You know, that Koreans have that jung,
Yeah.
so even if they're not expressing they love, they just know, hey, we're in love, so we're going to be together forever. Where Westerners, and again, I'm generalizing,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about everybody, they want that romance, and if they don't have that romance, then, hey, we're not in love anymore, let's get divorced. They have no sense of that jung.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the divorce rate is much higher in America, right?
Well, I think they're about equal now, though,
Okay.
with the young
Okay.
generation. Korea's almost 50% too now.
Oh,
I
right.
think.
Maybe, yeah, we'll see the number.
Anyway, it's not a Korean culture podcast.
What's the time? How much time is it?
55 minutes.
Wow, again, we're hitting.
Yeah, that's
We have no time, but it seems like it's almost about an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would show you all the functioning of how pair works, but I've already used it with my wife, and so there's personal stuff in there, so I'm not going to go through and
Show
show
us.
you.
Show
Yeah, show you. No, thank you. Okay, I don't have anything more to talk about. You guys?
No.
Okay,
That's it.
that's episode 9, right?
Yeah, so 9.
That's the end. See you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.